So welcome Mr. 𝗕𝗫𝗄𝗎 and Ms. Rajia Gilani from Industry Galaxy. It's a pleasure to host you on the show.
Thank you.
So our first question to you, as we have seen in the last week, particularly on Friday, after the Fed rate hike on Saturday, the crude oil prices on the Brent corrected by almost 8% to settle at around $113 to a barrel. And where do you see it heading to, and what have been the main reasons behind it? So.
Thank you, sir. As we mentioned in our last week interview, it's usually expected that when the US dollar is increasing against the major currencies, crude oil, that the US dollar empowered and reached the highest level till May 2020, crude oil not changing. On Thursday, Federal Reserve of USA increased the interest rate, and its effect we can see on Friday, crude oil price decreasing something around 7 to 8% drop. There are other factors that we can also monitor that have an effect on the crude oil price. Something like for exporting crude oil to Europe, for covering some parts of the depths of the Venezuela to Europe. Also, we can see the fear in the market because of the, as you mentioned in the question, because of the recession and stagflation in the market, that nobody knows what will happen in the near future. But overall, we can see that in June 2022, the minimum and maximum price of the crude is something around 110 up to 125. We saw a 3-time resistance on the price of 107 and 108. That price coming down up to 107 or 108, but again increasing the price. That this resistance also ensures us that maybe the price in the June will not decrease more than 110. And if decrease happen, maybe again price going up. So overall, we think that till end of the June, the minimum price of the crude should be something around 110. Even if you check today, crude price is something around 113. And you also know that all the things that we mentioned here, it's the technical of the market and also the public news that we heard everywhere in the market that what will happen. But these days there are some more news that we don't know about, and that maybe something changed very suddenly. But totally we can also say that the price in the June will not be less than 110.
That's a very interesting observation, that you do not foresee much of downside risk onto the prices beyond the current level, beyond the 110 level. And barring some extraordinary news coming from the war front, I guess it's a very reasonable assessment. Thank you for your views. And now we would like to move on to the bitumen side of the market, where we have seen the Indian demand falling primarily on account of monsoon, and the Indian prices also coming down by the Strait refiners. So in that light, where do you see the Iranian bitumen prices heading to?
Yes, actually, I have to admit that it's all of demand from India, as well as the southern monsoon has affected the bitumen price in Iran too. And also, I clearly said in my previous interviews that necessarily the increase of crude oil price does not affect the increase of bitumen prices too, because demand itself is a determining factor too. But the point is, currently we are receiving demand from other markets like Pakistan too, and the good quantities are being purchased by them too. And based on the formula, I can say that currently in Iran, we can expect a fall of between $7 to $10. But this is a very approximate actually estimation of the fall of prices in Iran, because maybe another factor that we can determine the prices based on it can be the amount of demand that we receive from other countries except India.
Yes, that's a very very wide and very in-depth assessment of things, on particularly reaching onto the demand side. So you see prices currently remaining in a very tight range.
Yes.
So with that, thanks for your very insightful views, and it would really be of great help to our viewers. So thank you once again. So we look forward to hosting you next time.